Hi, this is Yavi Renee, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 signs you are a wounded healer. Number one, you've been through some stuff in your life. And on the channel, I spoke about some of the things that I've been through, some of my experience, like having two narcissistic parents, not having my mother in my life, being exiled, being labeled the black sheep, sexual abuse, just a number of other things that I haven't spoke of that I went through in my childhood, teenage years, and as a young adult. So yeah, just going through some stuff, going through things in your life. That's number one sign, that you are a wounded healer. Number two, you've transcended or are moving through your issues. And I would say the more that you can like tap into that deep knowing and take action from that place, because you always know, like it's always inside of you. It's like your heart always know, like that spirit, your intuition, all of that stuff, if you will. It always knows, you know? And sustainable change happens from the inside out. So it's always a knowing. If you tap into the inside of you, if you tap into that inner instead of the rational mind, you'll always get that guidance. You'll get that complete understanding, of what you need to do. Number three, you are an empath. It's like you have an easy ability to really sense how others are feeling and the desire to help them. I can remember thinking back, like just reflecting back on my life and um just remembering that at an early age, like I could always tap in, like I could always tap into other people's energy. Always knew how they felt. I was always sensitive, to other people's energies. And that's one of the things that I couldn't understand. um as I was growing up, it's like I was always like a sponge. Like I could always feel what was going on. And you have the desire also to help them. I can also remember like being a teenager. I want to say probably like 13, 14, 15 years old. So where me and my family lived at, it was kind of like the hood. Like it wasn't a war zone, but it was the hood. So it was the 90s, and every guy wanted to be a dope boy or a drug dealer, if you will. And it was guys that was my age and probably a little older and going into their early 20s that was getting killed. And it was like, even if I knew them or not, it was like I had this deep feeling. Like when I heard that they got killed, it was like I always thought to myself, like if I could have just spoke to them, or if I was in their presence, or if I could have just spoke life into them, or just tried to speak to them to go into the right direction, that maybe I could have helped them. So, you have that deep desire, that deep pull to just help others. Number four, a deep knowing. You are here with a purpose and a strong desire to find out what that is. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like for me, I've always had that strong desire, to find out what it is. Like, especially, when I became of age. Um, I've had, several great jobs where I was good at it. I was good at everything, got promotions and all that, just like really living like the 9 to 5 um, world, like living in that world. And it was always, no matter, you know, how good I did at that job, it was just always something that was pulling me. Like I always knew that it was something more, that it was a bigger purpose. So it's like, and at first, it can feel confusing. Like it could be very confusing and daunting, if you will. It's like looking back, I could always remember feeling like it has to be more to my story. Or like I said, feeling a pull like in another direction. Just knowing I was called to do something greater, and it's like hindsight is always 2020 vision. A lot of the things that you do is not going to make sense. Like it will not make sense to you. However, you will look back on it like, wow, I had to go through those experiences to gain the tools necessary for this experience. And you start to integrate all of your past experiences and they start to make sense for where you are now. However, leading up to that, you have to take the leap of the heart's knowing. You hear what I'm saying? You have to take the leap of the heart's knowing. You have to just step into what they would call the unknown. That's the leap of the heart's knowing. And not get caught up in the rational mind when making life decisions. Number 5, you feel it is time to step into a deeper level of your purpose, if you will. Like I say, you gonna get that pull. You gonna know because your inner always knows. If you can just, you know, follow it. If you can just get aligned with it and follow it, it always knows. It's not gonna ever steer you wrong because it knows already. So it's like if you it's like you just get that feeling that it's time to go ahead and stop playing around. I mean, universe, source has sent the people in your life, it has sent the books in your life, it has sent the master classes in your life, and then you get that nudge like it's time to go, like it's time to really like step into that next timeline. um I would say the dark night of the soul, if you will. Like you could be on a job or in your career and feel like it's significant and you comfortable and you're content, and you might be making a lot of money, you may be very successful in what you do, and then all of a sudden lose your career or lose your house where you have to relocate, or whatever the case may be, or you, like I said, you lose your career and then you find yourself and your purpose, because that was the nudge, that was the kick off the cliff, that was the dark night of the soul, just basically like pushing you into your purpose, into the new, and into your healing so that you can let go. So those are the signs that you are a wounded healer. um I will do a part 2 to this and give you 5 more signs, but I just wanted to stop in today um just tell you guys about this. It was just laid on my heart to do so. Also, I want to let you guys know, like, don't ever allow someone to make you feel like you don't have enough experience, you know what I'm saying, to step into your purpose. If you a chosen one, a light worker, an indigo child, or whatever you call yourself, don't ever let anyone make you feel like you haven't experienced enough, to step into your purpose. You know, it's just like trauma for me. Like it's like trauma isn't the actual thing that happened. It's what happened inside of you. It's what happened inside of you it's like based on what happened to you. Something that's traumatic to you, or may not be traumatic to the next person, or vice versa. So don't ever let anyone like try to detour you off of your purpose, just because they're going through whatever they're going through. They might be bitter, miserable, have limited beliefs, or what have you, and they just have a certain perspective or certain mind frame. you know there is no separation. We are all one. So it's like it's room for everyone. I don't care, if you just started today. Keep going. Just start. It don't matter what somebody else went through. It don't matter how much experience they have more than you, or if they sound more intellectual, or they can use their words better than you. That makes no difference. That's just like, I'm gonna make the example of, like, if like drug addicts, or people that's been R worded, or people that's been sexually assaulted as a child, molested, or what have you. Do you want the person that sounds so intellectual, and say all the right words, and um feel like they know it all, like they're a guru or something, that got a degree or whatever, to go went to school for this? Or do you want that person that actually experienced those things and overcame those things? Do you want the person that was an addict and then overcame it? And then, do you want that person? Do you want to speak to that person? Yes, you would like to speak to the one that's more down to earth, right? You would like to speak to the one that actually experienced it, right? So it doesn't matter if they feel like, they are the second coming of Jesus, or they are, the only chosen one on the earth, or their ego is as big as Texas. It doesn't matter. Still keep going. Don't let nothing stop you. You are unstoppable. Namaste.